All right, how about now? Do we got sound now? Let me know.
Can you hear me? Tell me now. It's like a little delay.
Can you hear it on ours? Just, it might get a little weird.
No.
Nope, she said yes. All right. Sweet.
And you'd think we'd have this down now. It's our second time.
Well, for some reason, stupid thing always takes it off. I don't know why.
For fun, it likes to mess with you. Just like me.
Can you see the comments?
I see them on the bottom screen, but you have to like zoom in. And
Well,
then
you're on your phone too, so.
I am on my phone.
Okay. All right. What we got? 3 on.
Oh, y'all like to see us.
Hey. All right, so let's get this one going. All right, welcome back to Murder with the Missus live edition. I'm Darren.
And I'm Amy. And we're live.
We are live. And today's episode is brought to you in part by not that.
But not that.
And not that. Here we go. My Laundry Solutions. Go check them out. MyLaundrySolutions.com. I'm still learning the buttons. You'd think after a year I would know this stuff.
Well, we haven't done video for a year, though.
You're right.
Give yourself some credit.
You're right. All right. So what's the story today? Because we're actually doing a story.
Yes.
On live.
Yes.
And it's one that just hit.
Yes. I've been watching it.
It happened July 2024.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
But it just turned into a homicide.
Yes.
Last week.
Yes. Well, it was a homicide from the beginning, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, it was just, what was it called? They just called it a homicide last week.
Yes. So manner of death has now been classified as a homicide.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
we're going to talk about that one because, like I said, I've been kind of watching it. Nobody's really talking about it except local news. And I was like, we need to talk about this.
Yeah. And during the story, I'm going to be watching the comments. Y'all ask your questions and we'll answer them as best we can. I mean, like I said, I'm hearing this one for the first time and she's going to tell it, but y'all ask your questions and we'll go through.
Yes. When do you want to do it? Go into it now?
Let's do it. Or what was you want to do?
Jumping jacks or...
Was you want to sit and say hi? What's up?
No, not for 20 minutes. No.
How you doing?
No. Nope. We're not those people.
Okay. Well, like I said before, I had mic issues. I got my drink. How about y'all?
Yeah, I guess he was just talking to himself.
I was.
Anyway, so when we were like, hey, do you want to go live? And he was like, do you have something we can talk about? And I was like, yes, I do, as a matter of fact. Because, like I said, I've been watching this, and now that it's come up, it's great. Now, information has been slowly coming out because that's how this works. But there are 2 local news stations that's been covering this case pretty extensively. If you want to check them out, they are WQAD8 and KWQC. There is a trigger warning on this one because we're going to play some audio and there's a part of it that's a little graphic. So if you don't want to hear that, we've definitely got you covered.
Knee-high peaches, Lisa's drink.
Bro, where'd you get that?
Man, I'm telling you, where'd you get that at? I haven't had a knee-high peach in forever.
And they're delicious.
Yeah, they are. Now you get like the crushed peach, which...
Yeah, it's all right.
It's like a second best. But
it gets the job done.
Yeah. It's not no knee-high, though.
It's not no knee-high.
Yeah.
You need that on a t-shirt.
It ain't none.
It ain't none. All right, ready?
Yep.
On July 28th of 2024, a call came into the Carroll County Sheriff's Office in Illinois at 3:31 a.m. We now know that call is from off-duty Sheriff's Deputy Matt Herbstreet. I'm not going to say his last name again because I can't. You also hear a woman's voice in the background, and that would be his girlfriend, dispatcher, and paramedic, Amy Hubble. Now, like I said, this stuff comes out different. So they're like, she was a dispatcher, she was a paramedic, she was a 911 dispatcher. So it hasn't been like fully said exactly what she is, but I'm assuming probably a 911 dispatcher. Now we're going to play this call that was made. We did edit this down just to take out the spaces where they're not talking or it's just static noise, because that drives me nuts. And I do feel like these calls are important so that you hear what someone sounds like right after a tragedy like this, because it's all about tone. It's all about what you're saying. You know, things like that are important. And so to me, I like to hear them because I want to know what kind of mental state this person was in. But if you don't want to hear that part, you can mute us for about 2 minutes and 22 seconds. That's how long this ended up being. The original was only like 2:52, so we only cut out 30 seconds of static and nothing. And we will wave when it's over so that you know it's safe to come back.
Yeah.
So we're going to play it.
I had to edit quite a bit out because it was just like long pauses and everything else. So
you're going to hear the guy say, "Are you there? Are you there?" several times.
I didn't edit none of that out. It was literally like the dead space where it was like nothing being said.
Right. So we're going to play that right now. So go ahead and start your mute if you need to.
Carroll County Sheriff's Office. Hey. Hey. So we just dropped off at home, and we were headed up 78, and there's a body laying in the road just north of Mount Carroll on 78. What's the intersection? It's just north. It's right before Loudon Road. Before Loudon Road? Yeah. Like a deer? No, it's a body. Like a person? Yeah. Okay, did you guys stop? Well, we stopped to check on it, and I'm calling you, yes. Okay. Does Mount Carroll have a car on? Yeah, Mark's on. All right. We'll wait for him to get there. Is it breathing? No. Are you there? Yeah. You said it's by Loudon Road? It's south of Loudon Road. Are you there? Hello? Hello? Yeah. I'm dispatching Mark. Yes, I'm dispatching Mark to it. Okay. Is it male, female? Yeah, it's a male. Is he cold? Is he cold? Oh. No. Are you guys going to do CPR? What brain matter? Because he's got blood and brain matter coming out of his ear. Are you there? Yes. I'm talking. They're both en route. All right. Does he have any ID on him or anything like that? I don't know yet. Okay. All right. All right. Call me back if anything changes.
I mean, honestly, what's going to change?
What's going to change? That like threw me so off.
That threw me off too. The whole thing. It was like, I don't know. It was just all the big pauses and everything. It's like,
well, okay, so she was pausing because she was actually dispatching somebody there.
I understand, but you know, even like the 911 operators, they usually they're quicker,
yeah,
and in response
so
and everything.
If I told you that this call came into the non-emergency line, would that make a difference?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, this is not a 911 call.
So this was to the sheriff's office.
This was straight to the sheriff's office, non-emergency. And this guy is a deputy, so he should know that he can't just say, "Hey, I found a body," and hang up the phone. Gotcha. They're going to have questions. So the fact that he's like, "Are you there? Are you there?" It's like, and he kept trying to get off the phone.
Over and over because I mean, just the sounds of the cutoff and everything. It sounded like she hung up. That's why I kept on. I was like, "Are you there? Hello?" And it's just,
yeah. Now, the person in the road is 18-year-old Jackson Kradle. He's only wearing blue swim trunks. He's alone. There's no car around. He's just there. Through this call, we find out that there is blood and brain matter coming out of his ears. He's not breathing. Dispatch asks if he is cold, and Matt says he's not cold yet. So, still warm.
So how the hell did he get there?
How the hell did he get there?
Yeah.
There's so many questions.
Because he was still warm.
He's still warm, so it's a very new injury to him. He hasn't been there for long.
Yeah.
He's in the road. So,
yeah.
So many questions.
There's a lot of questions.
She asked if, in case you had trouble hearing it, she asked if they were doing CPR, and he says no, because, he's deceased.
Well, and there's blood and brain matter coming out of his ears.
Right, coming out his ear. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, because remember, the woman that's with him is a dispatcher. She's also a paramedic, so she's assessing the scene.
So does it say like how he died or?
We will talk about the autopsy, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, fast forward to a month later. Family and friends are outside the Illinois State Police headquarters. And it wasn't the first time either that they were out there protesting. They're holding up signs. They're yelling at the cars coming by, honk for justice, things like that. So let's do a little timeline to how we got there. Like, why are they protesting? What's going on? I'm going to tell you. And most of this information comes from news reports and what little documents that I've been able to see. Now, Jackson Thomas Kradle had just graduated high school. As a kid, he always had a smile on his face, like all the time. His mom said it was so hard to tell when he was lying because he was always smiling. He started throwing a baseball when he was about 2 years old, and he just kept going. That was his sport. They said he loved the Chicago Cubs, but always wore a Pittsburgh Pirates hat because he liked the colors. He loved to go out to his grandparents' land. So if they would be driving to it or driving past it, he would always yell out, "That's my farm," when he would see it. He helped them with chores, and he would camp out there sometimes, and they have a cabin out there he would stay in, or sometimes he'd just stay outside in a tent. He is described as disciplined and patient. He was meticulous about doing the dishes, even lining up the silverware on the drying mat in perfect order. But they said when it came time to sweep the floor, he suddenly didn't know how to use a broom.
Yeah, I can't blame him on that one.
I can, because I would gladly sweep over doing the dishes, but that's just me.
I can't remember how to do any of it, so.
Okay.
I don't know how to load a dishwasher.
I think it's a choice, actually. That is not loading the... You need to add. I'm glad I had witnesses to that.
That was funny, though.
This is what I put up with.
You got to admit, that was funny.
Okay, it was a little funny.
Yeah, it was.
Anyways, remember that he's only 18 years old, so he was doing all kinds of stuff. He was figuring out life. He was thinking about being an auto mechanic. He was starting to learn to lay brick. He helped his dad at his construction business, and there they had a running joke that they would refer to the scrap metal pile as Jackson's gas money. It's like, this kid's smart. Take that scrap
gas money.
Yeah, go put that in Jackson's gas money. He was also learning how to play the guitar. So he was being taught by, I believe, his dad, and then he was also self-teaching. And so you can tell in the picture that's on the screen now, there he is chilling with his guitar.
Oh, you may bring it up.
Oh, it's on the corner right there. You've already got it.
Yeah, it's in the right corner.
Yep. And on top of all that, he was a cat dad to his cat, Luna.
I'll bring it up here. That way you guys can get a better picture of it.
Yeah.
So that's Jackson.
Yeah, with his guitar.
Yep.
So this just tells you how well-rounded he was. He was literally looking at all different kinds of things, trying to figure out what he wanted to do. Now, on July 27th of 2024, Jackson was with his girlfriend, Madeline. At around 5 p.m., they were at a retirement party along with a bunch of first responders at the Copper Cow in Mount Carroll.
The Copper Cow.
The Copper Cow.
Boy, we run into some names on these. Copper Cow.
Yeah.
Anyway, I won't go through them.
That's all he can remember right now.
No, it's Tuna Saloona.
The ugly Tuna Saloona.
Then what was the other one?
Richard Craniums.
Richard
That's one
Craniums.
we talked about.
Yeah. Which, and, Richard Cranium with dickhead.
You watch your mouth.
Ooh, shut your mouth.
They left there and went out to the Kradle family farm. I guess there was some type of gathering there too. Madeline says they were drinking alcohol. Now, the two were dropped off at Jackson's dad's house, but Madeline says that Jackson got agitated, and so he left on foot. And this was the last time she saw him alive. And now is when it all had to be pieced together to figure out how he went from where he was to where he is now. And when you picture the scene, keep in mind that this is Route 78, so it's country scenery. It's definitely a 2-lane paved road with open land on one side and a guardrail along the other side. To get some answers, one of the local news stations submitted a FOIA request, so that's the Freedom of Information, for the 911 calls from that night. In October, they were given the recordings from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m., and they listened to all 6 of them. So that just goes to tell you it's a low crime area. But there was no mention on any of these recordings about a body being found in the road.
Well, because they called a non-emergency line.
They did, and we know that now. So when they submitted the FOIA request, they were thinking this was a regular emergency 911 call.
Which would have been recorded. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was not. It was not.
Yeah.
It was that non-emergency. So they went back and submitted a FOIA for the non-emergency call recordings. Now that first call, the one that we listened to, came in at 3:31 a.m. And we know that's Matt calling into the sheriff's office about finding the body. At 3:40, the state police dispatcher calls the sheriff's office dispatcher to find out what's going on. Then she says she will send a couple of state troopers their way. Now the state lady asks the county lady if they have paramedics on scene, and she lets her know that Amy is a paramedic, so there hasn't been any others sent out there. State lady even called back at 3:52 just to make sure. At 4:30 a.m., an unknown deputy calls into the county to let her know that he was at the scene. Kind of. He doesn't know what's going on, and he's not where the body is. So she kind of fills him in on what's happening, and he tells her that she needs to call the sheriff. Have you called number 1 yet? And she says no. And he's like, you might want to call number 1. Now, these calls are all on the news station's YouTube channels, so you can definitely hear them in full if you want to. None of them are very long, so it's not like it's going to take your whole day. Now, my question to you, Darren, is do you think it's weird that they have this type of situation and they didn't think to call the sheriff like right off the bat?
Well, I mean, yeah, but so whenever they called the sheriff's office, they sent out deputies.
Mm-hmm.
Was an ambulance ever sent out?
No.
That's what's weird to me.
They literally brought out the county deputies came out, the state deputies or state patrol came out, the coroner came out, and I think some crime scene techs, no paramedics, they literally had the coroner declare him deceased.
Yeah.
Not a paramedic that was on duty, just Amy. Yeah. So they didn't call out a lot of people that they probably should.
But they didn't even call the sheriff.
And they did not. So
that
if you've got
weird
6
too,
911 calls in that amount of time, there's not a lot going on. So if something like this happens, I'd be like, boss, guess what's happening? You need to get your butt out there.
Yeah. You need to be face of this, basically. Especially
when the call came from county workers.
Yeah.
2 county workers.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll get off my soapbox now. Later that morning, shortly before 11:30, the sheriff's office referred the case over to the state police. Probably the best idea, since they know that Amy and Matt are going to be looked into. There's also apparently a phone call made to Sheriff Ryan Clipping at 3:32 a.m., and it lasted for 2 minutes. Reports are that it came from an unidentified number. Now, the call to report the body came in at 3:31. Just a minute before this call was made to the sheriff. So to me, that timing is very odd.
Yeah.
Who called? Because that call that Matt made to the 911 dispatcher lasted for 2 minutes and 52 seconds. So 1 minute later, who called the sheriff if it wasn't Amy?
That's a good question.
She was the only other person there who knew what was going on. But she was supposedly checking the body, trying to help.
Yeah. Well, no, you could hear her in the background.
You can hear her answering questions.
Answering questions, yeah.
Who called the sheriff? I just don't know. I need to know. I guess it
They
didn't.
couldn't like track it back down. Like,
I'm sure they can, but they haven't publicly made it known yet that I've found. If y'all find that, let me know because it's going to keep me up tonight. And it didn't matter, I guess, because at 4 a.m., we know that the dispatcher had notified the sheriff. So
somebody else had already done it.
Yeah, somebody definitely let him know. I can't think of any other call that would come into him at 3:31 a.m.
Yeah.
Or 3:32 is when he was called. So it had to be somebody else calling that in. Now, the first on-duty responding officer arrived at the scene around 3:36. Conveniently, his cameras in his vehicle were not working.
Of course. Well, I mean,
why would they be?
Which are like, 90% of most officers' cameras and body cameras. And
if I'm not mistaken, they get funding for this. And that's the point.
There's millions of dollars that go out just for camera systems for cars, themselves,
right?
Audio,
right?
Everything, just basically as a cover your ass.
Yes.
And yet it never works.
It never seems to be working when you need it to, right?
And Lisa said, I think the two who called found the body.
Yes.
And are the ones who ran him over.
We're going to talk about that.
Wow, that's okay. Yeah.
We're going to talk about that.
So that'd be the sheriff, that'd be the off-duty.
The deputy and the 911 operator, dispatcher.
Which was paramedic. Ooh, that's a good.
We're about to break this down.
That's a good call.
That is a very good call.
I like
Your
that.
spidey senses must be tingling.
I like that.
Now, Matt and Amy, again, said that Jackson was already deceased when they got there and then asked if they needed anything else from them. So they're like, yeah, this is how we found him. What else do you need? Nothing? All right, I'm going to head out. The on-duty cop says, go ahead. So Matt and Amy leave the scene. To me, that's odd. Why would you just let them go?
Yeah.
I don't care if they're on duty or not. Now they are involved in this case on a personal level.
So did they take like a report or anything?
No, this is, listen, they got there. Did you see that? At 3:36.
Yeah.
5 minutes after they made that call, non-emergency call, to the dispatcher. And they're like, hey, I'm going to head out. Okay, go ahead.
That's weird.
No time for a report. No time for nothing. They were gone. And state troopers were on the scene at 4:18. And they're like, we never saw him. The coroner was contacted at 5:14 while crime scene services were still processing evidence at the scene. The coroner removed Jackson's body and then called Mount Carroll Fire Chief Marty Hockman to wash down the road so that they could open it back up to traffic. Because remember, we're still on a road. But they knew something wasn't right from the jump. The next day, July 29th, the sheriff notified Matt and Amy that they were both suspects of an internal investigation for their involvement in the discovery of the body. They were put on administrative leave pending the Illinois State Police official investigation. The paperwork says that they were suspected of violations of the Illinois Vehicle Code relating to the death of Jackson Kradle, violations of the Illinois compiled statutes relating to the death of Jackson Kradle, unbecoming conduct, which is conduct that reflects negatively on the department, and conduct which reflects discredit upon the officer as a member of the Carroll County Sheriff's Office or impairs the operation or efficiency of the department or deputy.
Wow.
Yes.
Police also said, I bet they washed their car, DNA evidence, everything.
What did you do? Did you Google
You
this
looked this
before
up,
you
didn't
came
you?
here? Spoiler alert.
Wow. That's yeah.
I'm telling you. You're on it.
Yeah, it's like, 5 minutes before whenever the officers got there, they was like, gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They literally like break down the situation and left. So within probably 10 minutes of them getting there, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like found him, did this.
Right.
Gotta go.
Okay, bye.
See ya.
Now, this letter that he sent to Amy and Matt said the investigation is to identify and examine the facts and circumstances regarding your activities during the evening hours of July 27th and the early morning hours of July 28th.
She said, no, this is the first I've heard about it. Well, you're on point.
You're hired.
I mean, because I was thinking that too, but yeah, I mean, at least you're there. You're saying
Yeah, she's on it.
Bring it.
She's on it. So they were looking at the evening hours of July 27th and the early morning hours of July 28th at the time of this incident. An additional aspect of the investigation will focus on whether your conduct in said incident violated any rule or regulation, policy or procedure, general or special order, or directive of the Carroll County Sheriff's Department. Now, Matt and Amy were scheduled to be interrogated on July 31st because they had to allow them 48 hours to talk to their union rep. Now, by the morning of the 31st, before the interrogation, both Matt and Amy resigned, effective immediately.
Oh, I bet they did.
Yeah.
Good night. Well, there you go. That makes sense, right?
Right? In this resignation letter, it said that they could not speak to them about the case anymore.
Of course they could.
No, they no longer work there, so they can't talk to them anymore in an official capacity. They can talk to them personally, but guess what happens when you try to talk to somebody who's suspected of wrongdoing?
Yeah.
Can I have my lawyer, please?
Yeah. Well, and when you're doing it like that right there, you go right to the top of the suspect list.
All the way to the top. Yes.
It's like, well,
sorry, I did that. I'm sorry.
That's not suspicious.
There's like fingers.
Your numbers 1 and 2.
Yes. Yes. Now, a few days later, which would be August 5th, Illinois State Police Special Agent Matt Kipping said that they had a person of interest, but did not name any names, of course. They got them a special prosecutor. And on November 9th, the coroner said that the cause of death was blunt trauma to the head due to a motor vehicle pedestrian crash.
Called it. You called it there.
Called it, Lisa. But to determine the manner of death, they would have to hold a coroner's inquest. So the point of this was this an accident or was this a homicide? So they're like, I can tell you how he died, but I can't tell you what led to him to die. Amy, words are cold. But yeah, so accident or homicide?
Oh, I can tell you right now.
I bet you can. You and Lisa both.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is like, maybe it started out as an accident.
Okay.
And now it turned into a homicide because they didn't fess the fuck up.
Maybe that cover up.
Yeah.
Maybe a little cover up action.
Yeah.
Because
she said, booyah.
Exactly. I always think back to his phone call too, because he kept trying to get off the phone. And then when they got to the scene, he tried to leave the scene real fast, which he did.
The Noah Prescrow.
Why are they running around? What?
Because this right here is kind of like Noah Prescrow.
This made me think of Noah 100%.
Yeah.
And I think it was yesterday or the day before the Justice for Noah Facebook page actually posted this story, the news articles from it, because they're like, we're glad this is happening in his case. Maybe we can get that over here too.
Yeah.
So we're still holding out hope for Noah, y'all.
Yeah. We're trying to keep that one going. I mean, as much as we can anyway.
Yes, because there hasn't been any movement that I'm aware of.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't seen the Noah Prescrow,
go watch it.
Video, or it's audio, right?
Go listen to it.
Yeah. But go listen to it because there's a lot of good detail on there.
There's a lot of, his story is just it's got similar characteristics.
It's so all over the place.
But it's so much to wade through.
Yeah.
Now, they had 6 jurors at this coroner's inquest with 2 alternates, and it lasted for about 2 days. Matt and Amy were called to testify, but like I said, both pleaded the fifth on their questions. But they had already had recordings of conversations that they had with like State Patrol and investigators on that end.
Yeah.
And now those like recordings are what they're going to use at the coroner's inquest for Matt and Amy's version of the story. So either way, it's coming out. And so here's what we know now. You ready? You ready, Lisa? Matt and Amy had been at that retirement party at the Copper Cow at the same time as Jackson. And they were drinking. Then they went to a couple of bars, private properties, and were driving around, drinking the whole time. At around 11 p.m., Amy had called that county dispatcher on that non-emergency line asking where the cops were at because they were out drinking and driving. She says she's been drinking and she shouldn't be driving. Now, this is coming from Amy herself. You can actually hear the recording of this as well. And we're going, oh, I shouldn't be driving. Well, then why are you? What's happening?
Yeah. So this right here would make it more of a homicide.
This makes them very negligent and very responsible.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say the word responsible. Yeah. So they were with another dispatcher that evening, and she had been around with them drinking and carrying on. They asked her on the stand, on a scale of 1 to 10 for drunkenness, 1 being sober as all get out, 10 being getting scraped up off the barroom floor. She said that they were at about a 7 or an 8. And you can hear that in that call at 11. She was all slurry and very happy. Hey, like she was talking to her best friend. They took that person home and was driving down Route 78 when they saw something in the road. Now, they said they swerved around it and then turned around to check on it and found out it was an unresponsive man.
They swerved around it.
They said they swerved around it.
Yeah. Or doo-doo.
This is what Matt originally said. But in a second interview,
She said, Matt and Amy guilty, gavel slam.
done. Lock them up. So originally that's what their stories were. But then in a second interview, Matt said, okay, maybe I didn't swerve in time and I could have actually hit him. You would know.
Oh, yeah. The truth will set you free.
Yes. Not
in this case, but.
First, we got to get there. He also said when they let him leave the scene, that he went straight home, right? So he's like, can I go? They're like, sure. And he goes home. But he had also already told one of them that he went to the car wash. So they went to the car wash, Lisa.
Called that one.
They got the video surveillance of the Savannah car wash showing what appeared to be Matt's Dodge Ram truck pulling in at 4:03 a.m. Matt gets out of the truck and washes the bottom of his truck. Lisa called that too.
Yep. There went the DNA.
DNA's a tricky little guy. But the state police crime scene tech did take a look at the truck later that day, and he found 1 piece of blue swim trunk fabric and 3 pieces of biological material underneath the truck. Testing showed that it was overwhelmingly Jackson's DNA.
Done.
So he didn't get it all. He tried.
There it is.
But he failed. Yep. Now, the autopsy results showed that Jackson had 2 fractures on his skull, a puncture wound on his shoulder, and a severe laceration on his buttocks. They're saying that he had signs that he was drugged after he was hit.
Well, yeah, he was rolled.
Yeah. Well, he had suffered brain swelling and bleeding, and belief is that all the injuries occurred at once and were the result of being struck by a single vehicle traveling at a high speed. Also, they said that he may not have been upright when he was hit by that vehicle.
Yeah. I mean, so he could have been laying in the road, but
That's what they say.
But
The coroner said he was laying in the road
okay. So
for the injuries to happen that way.
How tall was the truck?
I mean, it's a Dodge Ram.
Yeah, but
I don't know if it had a lift
is it
on
stock? Is it lifted? Is it?
Well, I could call Matt and ask him, but I doubt he's going to answer that.
Did they show pictures of the truck?
No, they have not showed pictures of them.
Okay.
They just released their names.
Because see, we're doing this video live.
Yes.
We're doing this story live. That way, because it's just progressing.
Yes.
And so we're going to do another.
Yeah, we'll probably do another episode on this when there's something done.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So maybe we'll have more answers as they come out.
So my theory is that he was walking down the road and he got hit and he was under the truck and was rolled up. That's why he's got all the cuts to his butt. He's got all the lacerations and the brain bleeding and all that stuff because he was, and the punctures and everything because he was rolled underneath there. And there's so much underneath the truck that could do all that.
There is. But then my question is, why was there only damage to his buttocks, his skull, and his shoulder?
Was it all on just the backside of his?
It was both sides of his head.
Yeah.
But it was one shoulder and then lacerations on his buttocks. I haven't seen the actual autopsy report yet, but wouldn't he have more, you'd think, on his sides, on his legs, if he was rolled underneath it?
Well, I mean, you'd think, but I mean, if it's like rolling him pretty quick or whatever.
Okay. Because their belief is that he was laying in the road and was ran over.
And maybe it was more of a hit, and then he kind of like tumbled, and he only hit his head this and then slid on his butt.
Could have.
You know what I mean? It could have been something like that. I mean, did the Dodge have a bumper guard? You know what I mean? It's like,
very true.
That
makes a difference.
It's just all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just,
yes.
I don't know if he was laying in the road because if they're going at a high rate of speed, Lisa said, did they beat him first? And, you know,
they did not believe that they believed that he died from being hit by that truck. They didn't say that there was any signs of him being physically assaulted before. But he did have a lot of damage on both sides of his head. So,
and I think that right there is just from him, like, getting the initial hit and then maybe hitting his head a couple times, maybe getting like flipped.
Maybe.
Or something like that.
Maybe.
But I don't know. That's my thought on it.
Now, keep in mind, too, that his blood alcohol was 0.192. So he was over twice the legal limit. And he had THC in his system.
Okay.
So the coroner said that he was susceptible to significant impairment and potential blackouts. So that's what they're thinking probably happened, is that he may fell over and then just passed out. But
so my thinking is on him laying down and everything. Basically, if they hit him in the road, it's probably gonna be more like a speed bump, like a
right,
just straight over.
Right.
That's my thinking on the whole laying down in the road. I think that they would be like more of just a drive. It'd be more like hitting a speed bump.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So
but it would do the damage that they're talking about. Maybe. Depending on how much of him was laying in the road, depending on all kinds of things. Like Darren said, how high was the truck? Did it have a guard on the front? Like, it's how fast were they going? Like, there's so many things that we would need to know the answers to.
She said this brings back memories of a certain person that had suspicious injuries back in the 80s.
Tell me all about it.
Oh, she retracted it.
If you know, sorry. You need to tell me names, lady. I need to know.
She like retracted it real quick.
She's like, just kidding. Don't say that.
She's like, whoop. It's sad. It's out there in the net.
Let's go live. It's fun. No, I'm just kidding. Can't take it back. Now, Amy had apparently rolled the body. Oh.
Yep. I'm with you. I know exactly what she's talking about. I'll tell you later.
What the hell?
Yeah, no, I'm there. She said family member. Anyway, she's like, do you know? Tommy, your dad, Tom, so he's like, you do know. You know, your dad's like, you know.
Well, so right now I've
like
got tunnel vision on Jackson.
Yeah. All right.
We'll talk about it offline, family. Okay. Darren's like, I'll tell you later.
As soon as she said it and everything, I was sitting there and I was like, man, what was, and I mean, automatically I was like, oh, know who it is. Automatically. Good Lord.
Listen.
I'm sorry.
It's been a slow day.
It's my bad that I know more about her family than she does.
Listen, I got the memory of a goldfish. Think Dory on Finding Nemo. That's what goes on. I got like 87 tabs open in my head right now. So you'll say a name and I'll be like, oh yeah, I know.
You'll figure it out before the end of this.
I probably will.
I guarantee you will.
I probably will. Y'all get off my back. I'm just kidding. So Amy, like I said, had apparently rolled the body from face down to face up. So they're saying they found him face down on the road. But when she did that, when she rolled him, she heard agonal breath. Now, the coroner said that agonal breaths are typically observed within minutes or seconds of a fatal injury. So she wasn't saying it outright, but she was implying that if Amy heard those breaths, that he had to have just been hit. Like, I don't know, by them.
Yeah.
Just been hit. There's no way. Okay. We'll talk.
So, hold on. Say it again.
I said that she heard those agonal breaths when she rolled him over. And the coroner said that those can only be observed within minutes or seconds of a fatal injury. So what she's saying is you would have hit him, and then as you jumped out of the truck to check on him, you would have heard them. Had you waited, you wouldn't have heard those. There's no way.
So basically, she jumped out. I was like, what the hell did I do?
Basically, the coroner's like, you did it.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah, she got out freaking out and everything, and then...
Well, either way...
But then she didn't do CPR or nothing.
Nope.
I mean,
nope.
They didn't even try.
Nope.
They didn't call an ambulance.
911 to get an ambulance out there.
They didn't even do nothing. Even the person that did call didn't even call an ambulance.
No.
I mean...
No. Dispatcher's like, Amy's got it. She's off duty, and she just called me 4 hours ago saying she was out drinking and driving. So I'm sure she's going to do a great job.
Good. She good.
Jesus. Now, on January 16th of 2025, so a week ago, it took the jury about an hour to come back and say that this was a homicide.
Good.
Now comes the part where they have to be able to prove that it was Matt running him over that killed him. Because the reason I was saying that a while ago, that the coroner was very adamant that it was within minutes that she would have heard those breaths. It's because the defense is probably going to come in and say he was hit by a different vehicle, and that's why he was laying in the road when Matt hit him. Because there's no question now that Matt hit him and Matt ran over him.
So Matt was following her?
No. What they're saying is there could have been, they're worried that the defense is going to come out and say there could have been another car in front of them, like maybe a couple minutes in front of them that hit him. And then they came through and accidentally ran him over because he was in the road now. So they can actually say in defense, how do you prove it was me that killed him? Yes, I ran over him, but did I kill him? You know what I mean?
Whatever.
We're playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure they're trying to work on any kind of angle just to get them out or whatever.
Like, what could your defense be at this point?
Well, yeah,
you got to come up with something. So that's why I think the coroner was very adamant. Oh,
sorry,
he wrote it on a piece of paper. Yeah,
I couldn't wait no longer. I was like, man, she hadn't figured that out yet.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, Unfortunately. We have no evidence on that one. That sucks. But yes. Thanks, guys. That's, yeah. Sorry if you were yelling at your screen.
Tommy said that can't be true because of the breathing thing.
Right. I think that's why the coroner was pushing it so hard. Like, there's no way that they would have had time if somebody else hit him and they didn't even see a car in front of them. So if somebody hit them and drove off and then he came through and hit him, turned around and came back, that's way too long.
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like when you hit something, automatically you stop, you figure out what the hell you hit. Right. I mean, me and your dad's been on plenty of times where I've hit a deer.
Yes.
And automatically get out. Where the hell's it at?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You don't want to do
my truck.
Yeah.
All that stuff. I mean, it's something you do.
You do.
But
I'm telling you right now.
He said thumbs up. But I mean, yeah.
He's like, thanks, Darren. I've been having to deal with this for many years.
Yeah.
Anyways. So now the family waits. That's pretty much where we're at. We brought you all the way up to a week ago. Now the family is just waiting to see what's going to happen. Like, are they going to press charges, or are they going to play this off like it was an accident? You know what I mean? Because it doesn't really sound like an accident.
I don't think it was. I mean, I think it started out maybe as an accident, but then
I think they were too drunk. So if it was an accident, it was because they were drinking and driving.
So yeah, there you go. So they might have accidentally done it, but they can't claim it. Won't be claimed as an accident because they was drunk.
Because they were drunk.
Yeah,
that puts them at fault.
Exactly, automatically.
Yep. That's a vehicular homicide.
Yeah.
Yes, because of the drinking and driving, running over the body, trying to cover it up.
But then this right here turns into a whole new level of, you know, dumb shit that
I'll say it, fuckery.
Yeah, it just turns into a whole new deal to where, you screwed up.
If you don't have anything to hide, why are you trying to hide stuff?
Yeah.
That's a simple question.
Just say, yeah, exactly.
So that's it. Now I will say, let me just throw this in here, that on-duty dispatcher from that night that Amy called at 11 and then Matt called at 3:30, she was fired.
Yeah. See ya.
They fired her. Now, she didn't say anything to them that she knew Matt and Amy were out drinking and driving before or after Jackson died. That all came out in the recorded phone calls.
She ought to be like an accessory to it.
Because she knew.
Yep.
Because she told her, she was like, it was 11 o'clock and Amy was like, where are them cops at? And she said that there was a wreck. So they were not on her side of town. They were over dealing with that car wreck.
So basically this right here was like a full cover up type thing. I mean, all the way around.
Well, that's another thing. When you listen to these, if you listen to the phone call, then you would have heard him say, we were taking somebody, we dropped so-and-so off. That was the other dispatcher. We were coming back through and there's a body in the road. And she says, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And
it like bleeped it out. I'll play it again if you guys want
No. She
care.
said, what the fuck? Because she thought, and she told them this too, she thought he was messing with her because she knew that they were out drinking and having a good time. And she thought that he was calling her playing a prank, like being a jokester.
Yeah.
That's why she was like, was it a deer? Because she wasn't taking it seriously at all. So they didn't like that too well at the sheriff's office. So she's gone. She's gone. So that's another one. Like I said, we're going to keep our eye on that one because
that one's fresh. Yeah, that one's fresh. I mean, so it's just happening. So we wanted to try to get this one in at the beginning.
The more people, here's the thing about these. It's the same we did with Noah Presgrove.
Yeah.
Some of the information did change because it was misreported. So we've done updates on that to fix everything so everybody has most accurate and up-to-date information. It's going to be the same on this one because the more people that know about it, the more people talk about it. And the more people that talk about it, the more pressure is put on the authorities to do something about it.
To actually do something right.
Do something about it. Jeez, get your head out of your ass.
Yep.
Anyway,
that's the end of this story, but we do have a little bit. We're going to talk about the comments and stuff. Cause I read through the comments and there's some of them I'm just like, nah, I better not answer because I just,
And they say you can't listen to the negativity. You're not going to please everybody all the time. And we don't have a lot of negative comments, but every once in a while one comes through.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen.
Yeah. We had one the other day and it was like, I was listening to your podcast and then all of a sudden you guys started dropping the F-bomb everywhere. And then she's like, why? And
we've got that before too.
And I responded back, I was like, I told her, I said, look, I said, this is just who we are. And
yeah,
my
parents can tell you right now.
Yep. That's how we was raised. It's who we are. And I've made a pretty good life for ourselves for, being who we are. And I was like, if you want the fake it till you make it, I was like, you're not going to get that here.
No.
No. And, I was like, but thanks for watching and thanks for the comment. That's the best way I could answer it.
I love using sentence enhancers. It lets people know how I'm feeling.
She said negative comments not welcome. Yeah.
Not welcome here.
Which, I'll take any comments. I don't care.
Yeah. If there's something I'm doing that bugs you, you can let me know if you feel the need to. Right. Get it off your chest.
Yeah, exactly. We will read the comments and we will try to adjust the best we can.
But we will not compromise who we are.
But I'm not gonna fake who I am. And
no, sir.
And that right there will be one of them deals where it's like, it'll take us a while to get some subscribers or whatever, but there's a lot of podcasters out there that do the same thing, that do even worse than we do.
Way worse.
And, and we're, it's just who we are. But,
and when we get, as we keep getting subscribers and people who like our content,
yep,
they are the real ones. We want real people. We don't, if we're offending you, okay, there's other places to go.
Yeah.
There's no shortage of true crime content in
Bluey,
this world. Bluey.
You got Bluey. You got the All Kids Network. I mean, you got,
I'm not trying to offend anybody, but
no, I was just joking.
I like Bluey. I like Bluey.
I was talking about dog.
I know.
Anyway.
I'm like, wait a minute.
I'm just joking, dude. Lord.
There's nothing wrong with Bluey.
No,
I'm a mature adult and I like him. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just giving him a hard time. But yeah. Oh, we same time.
Yeah, it was in unison.
But yes, there's, and most of the creators that we listen to, they cuss too. And it's not like we seek them out. You don't seek out,
No.
Give me a true crime that cusses. It's not a thing.
Yeah. And we had one, and we had another one that was, where's have you gotten down to it yet?
It's right here.
We're trying to address them. The Sarah Boone case, part 1.
Can I talk about this one first?
Do you want to?
I want to talk about it first.
Okay. And then I'll say it.
Yes. So
Go
the
ahead.
George Torres and Sarah Boone part 1 was what this woman commented on. It was around the 2-minute, 2-second mark. She literally put that in the comment to let us know what part offended her the most.
Which is fine, because I love it whenever people put timestamps.
100%.
Because I can go back and I can listen to it, and I can answer you better.
Yeah, that way we know. So that's what I did. I went to that episode. I went to that timestamp, and this is literally what I said. Now, trigger warning. If you're not familiar with this case altogether, we will be talking about domestic violence throughout the whole case. And that's the whole thing with this one. It's pretty extensive on both sides of this relationship. That's what I said. That's what offended her.
Exactly.
Yes.
And when I read it and everything, she's like 2 minutes and 2 seconds in, I'm already finding holes in y'all's information. I'm like, so I went in there and and they's like, you're misrepresenting, Jorge's family or Jorge and, his family needs, I was like, you literally listened to 2 seconds.
2 minutes and 2 seconds.
I mean, you hadn't even made it through the story. And throughout the story, I honestly don't think we really
listen.
I mean, we mentioned that he was arrested, multiple times because of whatever Sarah said he did.
We never
never really believed.
We never one time said that any of this was proven to be fact.
Exactly. I mean, she's like,
it was the trigger warning that triggered her. And I'm like, listen, let me tell you what a trigger warning is. Okay. Some people have issues when it comes to domestic violence situations. They don't want to see it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to be anywhere near it. And so when we're going to talk about it extensively in a case like that, because keep in mind, that was Sarah Boone's 100% defense there, battered spouse. What is a battered spouse? That's domestic violence related. So when I tell you this is going to be heavy on it, and it is coming from both sides because both were arrested for it.
Yep.
So both had made accusations. Both had been witnessed by police to have marks on them. They had been to the cops many, many times, or she had brought them to them. So that warning was for people who cannot hear that day. Like maybe you're having a bad day and you're extra triggered and you really don't want that. You want positivity. Okay, I'm going to tell you in advance, this is what I'm going to be talking about.
Yep.
And that's for your mental health. So the fact that this person was so offended and saying that we were somehow disrespecting now I'm doing it, George's memory or his family in any way, that gasted my flabbers. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, because we wasn't meaning for anything like that.
I think we made it pretty clear how we felt about Sarah Boone through the entire 2 episodes.
Yeah. She was a hot mess and just a good Lord.
She's a rat who likes cheese.
where did she get all that cheese?
She saved it. That's gross. But at the same time, that's what we were doing. So if that offended you, I'm sorry. But I felt the need to say what a trigger warning is, because I guess people don't believe what trigger warnings are.
Exactly.
And that's all that was. It was literally a trigger warning.
Yeah. And plus we put not for kids.
We are not for kids.
Yeah. Every episode we put not for kids because
we are explicit.
We are who we are. We say what we want to say. We say how we feel.
I'm a cuss.
And yeah.
Guaranteed I'm a cuss.
Yeah, I haven't gotten her to stop cussing, and I've been with her 26 years.
I try. You've really done a lot to try to stop it.
Yeah, true.
You let me be me. No, this is it.
She's it.
This is a thing because this is how we are. So anyways, while we're still talking about Sarah Boone,
let's do it.
I literally saw a headline the other day that said she was not getting a new trial, and I got excited.
Damn right.
But I have a bad habit of just reading headlines and then not actually going to the meat of the story. Not when I research these cases, but just in my everyday life. And so I was like, let me check into this. And I went in, and that's not what it said. What it is the state did their rebuttal as to why she should not get a new trial.
Yeah,
it was not the judge saying anything.
And that's where the news like spins shit to where
it's headline grabbers.
Yeah, it's
And
whatever gets the most views and everything. So
that's all that was. So
yeah,
as of right now,
kind of like Gypsy Rose, she had her baby.
Why are we talking about her?
What was it, a little girl?
Why are we talking about her?
What was it, a little girl?
Yeah, it was a little girl. Yeah. I don't know that though, because I don't watch anything.
All I can say is good luck.
To both of you. Him and her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But
that's a lifelong thing.
Anyway,
now.
You guys got questions? Anybody got questions? Any questions?
I think Lisa answered her own questions.
Yeah. Lisa was asking the questions and answering the questions as we was going.
I hadn't even got there yet.
Great. I was like, come on. I'm just making it easy for me.
She owned it. I love that.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, we're going to try to do more lives.
Sure.
And everything.
Listen, what happens to me is I turn into Ricky Bobby when you put me in front of a camera.
Ricky Bobby.
I'm sitting here the whole time like I can't move. I can't do this. I can't do that.
Hands?
What do I do with my hands?
Whatever, you're like jazz hands.
Yeah, I do know what to do with my hands. They're going to fly about willy-nilly. Yeah. But yes, I don't know. I get weird on the camera. I got to get used to it. I'm getting more comfortable.
But if you guys do, this is because this right here is recorded and then it'll be in our videos for future people to listen to.
Hello, people from the past.
Yep. Hello. Anyway, if you do want to contribute to the podcast, I'm trying to figure out which one it is here. I think it's this one. There it is.
Tech guy.
So we have a Cash App. It's supposed to be Moneyside Murder WTM, but you have to do dna.truecrime@gmail.com. Or if you want to do buy me a coffee, it's buymeacoffee.com/MWTM.
I love how you say that every time.
Buy me a coffee.
Buy me a coffee.
Yeah. Put my radio voice on. But
we like caffeine.
For everybody who has contributed, thank you very much. It helps.
It does.
And that's what drives this whole thing.
It does.
And we're hoping to get to a point where we can do more and, help people.
Yeah.
That's the goal. That's the end goal. Sure. I think that was like the most comments in like Sarah Boone too. It's like, why y'all whining? And
that wasn't the most comments. No.
Well, there was a lot of comments. It was like, why y'all whining at the beginning and everything. So we had to put that little caption up there that says, fast forward past this because we're just whining about content creators' problems.
That was a big problem. And listen, in case y'all haven't noticed, or even if you care, if you go back on our videos, you will notice that at that Sarah Boone point, when we were complaining about the YouTube issue, after that, it has posted 2 to 3 times every time it uploads. So
for some
it's still
reason,
messed up.
I don't, and I don't understand why it's doing that, but yeah, we're getting like
we're sorry.
We're getting like 2 or 3 episodes posting on YouTube for some weird reason.
I can't make it stop.
And since the ban of TikTok, and then it came back, 5 hours later, our editing software for our video was also banned.
Yeah.
So they didn't bring that one up as quick as they did TikTok, but
well, a lot of things are so connected. Like I didn't even realize that the two were connected, but apparently they were.
So yeah, we haven't been able to do our shorts. We haven't been able to do our video edits, but I'm hoping to get back on track with that. I'm looking into some new software, but it all takes money. It all takes time. Everybody wants something.
Time.
Most of this stuff nowadays is like, oh, pay a monthly subscription. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we got like 87,000 subscriptions now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, but it is what it is. You got to do it to make it in this. So,
and we like what we do.
And but yeah, I'll tell you what, our Sarah Boone Part 2 is the most viewed episode, and
because she wild.
She is wild. And everybody's like, oh, we need Part 1. I'm like, well,
that was what I was going to say. Part 1, for some reason, will not pull up, though. So if you go and flip through, just go to our channel and flip through, you can find it. But any other time, it's not there. Yeah. So you have to actually go to our channel and click on the playlists and then go down and find it. That is really weird.
And we have 2 playlists in there. So you have a video playlist and then you have a audio playlist.
Yeah, she's audio.
Yeah, and they're audio. So, and you just have to scroll down through there. Somebody was moaning and groaning about us not having a playlist. They're like, you're asking for this, but you don't even have playlists. I
don't know how to make a playlist.
I'm not going to make a playlist for
each episode.
For each episode, I'm not doing that.
They're mostly singles.
Because we rarely. I mean, we have a few part 2s, part 1s, part 2s, but it's just
not a lot. Not enough to make a whole playlist for them.
So I mean, I separated them. I did video and audio. That way, it makes it maybe easier. I don't know. But
who knows?
Who knows?
But it can be found. It's there. It's just another weird glitch in the system.
But I will tell you this much: we are up to 300, and what's our count on our subscribers? I know we're past the halfway point to
319.
319. So we're at the halfway point. So yay! So from the 500, and so man, keep them coming. This right here is gonna subscribers. We're getting them every day, every week. It just, every time I see them, I love it.
And we have so many positive comments and people who say that they like the way we interact with each other and they like the way we talk. Our voices are soothing. So
I don't know how my voice is soothing.
Me neither. I mean, not yours, but mine.
Yeah. It's got to be yours. It's definitely not mine.
Maybe it's me. Y'all want me to read you a bedtime story? Maybe we'll start a podcast reading bedtime stories.
Was it ASMR?
I can't do that. I couldn't do that.
It's like the Matthew McConaughey. Hi, I'm Matthew McConaughey.
No. I could do some ASMR
I'm gonna tell
with
you guys a bedtime story.
Morgan Freeman could read me some bedtime stories and I'd go right out. That's a soothing voice.
You see where they was trying to do his voice for GPS?
No, but I would love that.
I would not. I'd be like, and try to go to sleep. I'm like,
He's a little too soothing. There's a line.
But
okay.
Anyway, anything else?
I don't think so.
Do you guys got any questions?
Yeah, what are y'all doing? Did I put y'all to sleep?
Yeah. Well, it's like a delay, so we got to kind of wait, but we still got to talk, because if not, then they see the delay.
And they can't edit out our not talking.
Exactly.
Our dead silence. My bad.
Yeah.
Anyways, we really appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Is there anything you guys want to touch base on before we get off of here?
Like, how's my haircut going? It's going great.
Did you say that?
Nope.
Oh, yeah. I get her a buzz cut every week or every other week. High and tight.
Nope, that's not what this is. Bro,
She said no crazy delay. Okay. That's not too
she
bad.
said no, period. Crazy delay.
Oh, no period. Oh. So,
Nothing else to talk
see,
about.
That's where I failed in English. I should have paid attention.
Punctuation.
I should have paid attention to my sister when she was teaching me English. Yeah, she was my school teacher.
That's true.
It's not weird. Don't y'all make it out to be weird.
She probably rolls her eyes at you all the time.
I slept in there a lot, so I didn't see them. She's gonna hate me for saying that.
Yeah, because she still made you work. It's not like you got a free ride. She was harder on you than me. Well, I was a good student though.
Was you though?
In English, I was. Hey, rude. He's probably hungry. I gotta feed him.
Yep.
Cranky.
Who?
You.
Me.
Yeah, you just dissed me. You said womp womp.
Whoop, whoop.
So obviously something's going on. Because I'm a fucking peach.
You're like,
Okay, we could probably let them have their night back.
all right. Well, thanks for tuning in,
Yes.
and we will see you guys next time.
Oh, we will have episodes come out Tuesday and Friday.
Well, yeah, that's normal.
Just saying, we're still normal just because we did the live.
I'm still working on the videos, but audio, we're still gonna have.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.